Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in.
Nice to see the sun. We're going to head outside and check out a new car today.
Right. RV Briggs is along with the all brand new Kia Telluride.
A lot of buzz about that car.
Yeah, hard to get, apparently, so we'll find out what all the buzz is about coming up with Harvey. But first in the news today, Wisconsin lawmakers are debating a proposal that could punish doctors for failing to treat a baby who's born alive after a failed abortion attempt.
A former bus driver for the Partyville School District is facing sexual assault charges. A new criminal complaint says his accusers are as young as 7 years old.
And the Trump administration is fighting a congressional subpoena to turn over the full, unredacted Mueller report. We'll have the latest from Washington.
Let's take a look outside today. We got to make hay while the sun shines.
Right.
It's nice to see the sun today. I think these are the tulips on the Capitol Square. It's so pretty right now if you haven't seen it yet.
And enjoy it, because it's going to start raining tomorrow, and it's going to be a cold rain. Chris Reese is in the backyard patio for us today, where it's pretty nice right now.
Yeah, it actually is pretty nice. Sometimes those station cameras can be just a little deceiving. It looked a little bit more gray, but I was pleasantly surprised to step outside and see some blue sky out here. Here's a live look of what it looks like from the station, just showing you, yes, there is some cloud cover. Temperatures today made it into the mid and upper 50s, at least here in Madison, and points over towards the west. In fact, some low 60s even began to show up towards central Wisconsin. That's where they got in on a little bit more sunshine. But those winds have been coming out of the east, blowing cold air off of Lake Michigan. So the lake shore has been colder. Milwaukee only made it to 45. We're at 57 right now, so there's our high for the day. Notice those winds coming out of the east and northeast at 14 miles per hour. We are going to see that wind increase as we go overnight and into tomorrow. At the same time, more cloud cover is going to start to filter in from the south and west. We're watching that cloud cover right now. It does have some chances for showers with it, though I do think as we go through the overnight hours, we should be mainly dry. Those showers won't be arriving until tomorrow morning, so do plan for temperatures to stay in the low 40s tonight and then stay in the 40s tomorrow once the showers arrive, and they're going to keep that air just a little bit cooler. But we have an alert day for tomorrow because we also have a threat for some severe storms tomorrow night, along with heavy rain potential. We're talking upwards of 1 to 2, maybe even some localized spots of 2.5 or so inches of rain. So it is going to be a sauger of a Wednesday that comes on through. But then there's good news after that. We'll break that down in Maine weather. Right now, we are watching traffic for you guys. This is the Belt Line at Park Street. It is moving along, but we're starting to see those slowdowns, especially between Verona Road and John Nolan. A few slowdowns downtown as well as you start to leave the Isthmus, which of course is normal. Right now, the slowest route is actually between Verona Road and John Nolan. It's taking you about 9 minutes right now. Of course, we'll see how that changes going through the show as well. Guys?
All right, we'll check back in a little while. Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this afternoon, authorities say multiple students have been injured after shots were fired at a charter school in Colorado. This happened in Highlands Ranch. That's about 15 miles north of Denver. The local sheriff's office is calling the situation unstable right now and is asking the public to avoid the area. This is a developing story, and we'll be sure to have updates for you as soon as we can.
The abortion debate is heating up at the state capitol as Republicans urge a committee to pass a handful of anti-abortion measures. The
most high-profile one could send doctors to prison for life if they don't provide medical care to babies born alive after a failed abortion attempt. As Rose Schmidt explains, these proposals have little chance of passing. She joins us live now from the state capitol. Rose.
Yes, well, Democratic Governor Tony Evers has already promised to veto the Born Alive bill, but Republicans are hoping to rally their conservative bases heading into the 2020 election. GOP lawmakers asked the Assembly's Health Committee to okay that bill and others to help, quote, protect life in Wisconsin today. It would require health care providers to make sure that a child born alive as a result of an abortion is taken to the hospital immediately. It's unclear whether that has ever happened in Wisconsin because state officials say that they don't keep track of such incidents. Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin says abortion providers are held to the highest standard of care and question Republicans' motives for proposing it.
I think neither I or Senator Roth are up here saying that this happens routinely here in Wisconsin or anywhere else. However, the evidence is clear that it does occur.
This bill is redundant and unneeded. Infanticide is illegal. Abortion is already banned at 20 weeks in our state. These situations are simply not happening.
Another bill brought before the hearing would prohibit abortions based on sex, race, and a potential diagnosis of Down syndrome or other disabilities. Other proposals would cut off Medicaid funding for Planned Parenthood and require the state to ask a woman why she's getting an abortion and how many abortions she's had. Democrats and Planned Parenthood used today's hearing to push support for the women's health initiatives in Governor Evers' budget proposal. Now that Assembly Health Committee is scheduled to vote on these anti-abortion measures on Thursday, that would send them to the full Assembly. Back to you.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting live for us from the state capitol. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Abortion is now essentially illegal in Georgia. Conservative Governor Brian Kemp signed a heartbeat bill today, banning abortions if a fetal heartbeat can be detected. That can happen as early as 6 weeks, which is before many women even know they're pregnant. The ACLU says it is preparing a court challenge to the measure.
Milwaukee police are still searching for a homicide suspect after fatally shooting a different person outside the suspect's home this morning. Chief Alfonso Morales says officers dressed in plain clothes were watching a house where Victor Clinton may have been hiding. He's the suspect in a homicide that happened on Friday. 2 people approached the officers, including one who was armed. Police opened fire and killed the armed person. It's unclear if they knew Clinton, but the police chief said they may have been trying to rob the undercover officers. In Columbia County, a former bus driver for the Partyville School District is facing sexual assault charges.
Prosecutors say he inappropriately touched young girls while working as a school bus driver. Jamie Perez is with us now in the studio to tell us what we know about this. Jamie?
All right, so this is the man right here, Gary Dean Edwards. He made his first court appearance yesterday on 2 counts of sexual assault. Now, when I spoke with the school district superintendent today, he said he had no idea that this was even happening and actually learned about it through their local newspaper. Now, Gary Dean Edwards made his first court appearance yesterday. The criminal complaint states Edwards was reported by 3 different girls, one who said Edwards touched her behind and was always trying to hug girls on the bus. That was in 2017. Now, the 2 other girls said Edwards let girls sit on his lap, put his arms around their stomach, and place his hands around their private areas. That report happened January of this year. When detectives asked Edwards about the allegations, he told them it's possible his hands may have slipped, and sometimes the girls would lean against his armrest, causing her private areas to press against his hand. When I spoke with the superintendent today, he said he knew about the 2017 incident and reported it to police, who found no substantial evidence that the allegations were true. When I asked about the incidents from this year, here's what he said.
We've never been informed. We knew that they came and did some questioning, but we had no idea there was an investigation going on. We had no idea there was an arrest made. What would I tell parents? I have nothing I had nothing to tell them until I read the paper this morning.
The school district contracts with Smith's Bus Service. That company is in charge of hiring and firing any of its employees. When we approached them today to ask them questions, they turned us away, saying that they had no comment. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office was also not available to comment on this today, but I'll have more details on how this unfolded coming up tonight at 5 and 6.
All right, Jamie, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. The Trump administration is fighting back against Democratic investigations into the president. Congressional Democrats are fighting to see the complete unredacted Mueller report, as well as the president's personal tax returns. The Trump administration is telling former White House counsel Don McGahn not to comply with a congressional subpoena to testify and to turn over documents. The deadline is tomorrow.
What we've seen is a meltdown, an absolute meltdown, an inability to accept the bottom line conclusion on Russian interference from the special counsel's report.
This is not a fight I wanted to take on, but this is the fight in front of us now. This is not about politics. This is about the Constitution of the United States of America.
Democrats are hoping to hear directly from special counsel Mueller as early as next week. The White House says his report speaks for itself.
Wisconsin voters could legally take selfies with their marked election ballot under a new proposal. The Senate Elections Committee held a hearing on the measure today. The bill sponsor says that ban is archaic in the age of social media, and showing a marked ballot is a free speech right. 2 local elections clerks testified against the measure, saying it could make it easier for employers or others others to force people to show how they voted. Wisconsin is one of 18 states that has a law barring the showing of a completed ballot.
UW-Madison has announced a new dean of students. Christina Olstad will be taking over the position. Right now, she serves as interim assistant vice president for student affairs, housing, and residence life at Towson University in Maryland. Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Lori Reeser, says Olstad will be a strong collaborator on campus and will advocate for all students. She starts on July 1st. A heads up, if you're making plans in downtown Madison this weekend, you'll have to work around UW-Madison's spring commencement ceremonies. Friday night at the Cole Center is the ceremony for PhD, Masters of Fine Arts, and medical degree recipients there. Honorary degrees will be presented to rock musician Steve Miller and scientist Tom Brock. Saturday is the ceremony at Camp Randall, where former Badger football player J.J. Watt will deliver the commencement address, and Mike Lacrone will lead the band for the final time.
School year over already?
I know, it's
hard
gone by
to believe.
so fast.
Well, next at 4, if you're having a tough day, listening to music is an easy solution to help us change our moods.
But how about improving our overall health? We'll talk with Dr. Shyla Murgain from UW Health about the physical benefits music can have.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
China's government confirmed its economy czar will be in Washington this week for scheduled trade negotiations, even as President Trump threatens to escalate a tariff war over Beijing's technology ambitions. The president's top trade negotiator said China is offering less than what it had promised in past negotiations, and President Trump says That's unacceptable. He has threatened to more than double tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods starting Friday from 10 to 25%. Some economists say U.S. businesses and consumers will pay the price.
That news caused a massive sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow plunged 473 points, or almost 1.8%, closing at 25,965. The NASDAQ Composite Index dropped over 100, and the S&P 500 also lost 48. Well, if you're in the habit of listening to music while you work or singing karaoke in the car, you're always humming a tune at your desk, you could be improving your health.
Music can soothe a broken heart, connect us with others, and pump up our workouts. Dr. Shyla Mergain joins us from UW Health to talk more about the healing power of music. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Shyla, good to see you.
Great to be here.
So is it listening to music, playing music?
All of it. You know, since across all time and all cultures, music has really had a healing capacity. The ancient Egyptians used song as a way of healing the sick. And even Hippocrates said that music is really an essential part of the healing arts. So, and there's a reason for that. We can talk about some of the science, but I also like to highlight that hospitals across the country are really using music therapy as an adjunct to more traditional medicine.
Oh, that's interesting. And so what are some practical uses of music? You brought a few props today.
I did.
Is it just any kind of music is relaxing, or is it specific?
Yeah, so some of the research shows that music can actually help lower acute and chronic pain. There was one study where they looked at patients going through surgery and had them listen to music afterwards, and they found that they had less pain, they needed less medication, even had things like lower anxiety and lower blood pressure. And they found some of those benefits increased if you choose your own music, but it really found that all music can have that kind of benefit. And not just pain, but other things as well, like improving sleep or lowering overall anxiety or boosting mood.
Do we know why? How?
You know, part of it, when you think about listening to music, you know, it can relax you. It can maybe boost your mood. We've all had that experience. A song comes on and we're brought back memories from childhood of maybe a joyful time, or maybe we hear a song and it reminds us when we fell in love with our partner. Or maybe even just a song like that Rocky theme song where we really accomplished a monumental task. So it really shifts us out of our present state. And there are physical benefits like that lowering blood pressure, you know, and cortisol in our system.
Does playing music have the same benefits as listening to music?
Yes, and I think it also has that added fun and creativity. And I really encourage families to play music together. A friend of mine had me over a few weeks ago, and she has a young son. And we sat around and played music, and she brought out a little shaker, and we were shaking. Susan, if you want to grab the cowbell.
Oh, the cowbell.
Mark, yeah.
You gotta have more cowbell.
We had the drumsticks going, and we just sat around, you know, playing, and it was really, really fun.
Better? Is it more relaxed?
Oh, I'm great.
And
it does need more cowbell.
It does need more cowbell.
Yeah, you do a great cowbell and great drumsticks. But that experience of playing music together really bonded us, and it probably is one of the top memories I have for my year. So encourage your kids to play instruments, or just get some fun musical toys like this and play together. One of the things that my mother did, she wrote me a lullaby song and sang it to me every day. So you could even write a little song that you sing to your children at home. And it's something that I actually sing to my puppy at night, so the tradition continues.
That's sweet.
Music is powerful, that's for sure.
It is.
You go to an opera or something, you can be brought to tears.
You can, right? It transforms your state. And even if you have to accomplish something big, like a presentation, you know, think about listening to music to pump yourself up. I always listen to the same song as I'm driving over here to do our segment to get me in the right frame of mind.
Which one is that?
It's kind of an inspirational song about, you know, you can do what kind of thing. And you can even use music for workouts, you know.
It makes a big difference.
A lot of people can't work out without it.
Right.
And I play music for my dogs when I'm gone.
You do.
They especially like classical music.
You do, okay, and that can really have a soothing effect, and even maybe help with memory and retention, or even some of those softer music melodies can help you with sleep as well.
And you're doing a Dream Bank?
I am, yeah, I'm really excited. There's a free upcoming Dream Bank presentation, which is Thursday, June 6th at 6:15 p.m. It's at American Families Dream Bank, and the topic is mind-body skills to foster your whole health. And we're going to be working on a variety of different practices and strategies to really optimize your well-being and overall health. I'd love to see you there.
Sounds
you can
wonderful.
sign up on the Dream Bank website.
Yeah, register and it's free.
And bring your own drumsticks. Shyla, thank you.
Thanks, Shyla. Good to see you.
Great advice as
you.
usual, and we'll be right back.
Great to be here.
Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the crazy outfits spotted at the red carpet last night.
We'll have a recap of some of the looks from the Met Gala. That's coming up next on Live at 4.
Take a look at this. How many Chuck Norrises does it take to run a 5K? Also, is it Norris's or Nor-I? Food for thought. Thousands attended a sold-out charity event in Texas hosted by the legendary Tough Guy. Participants donned beards and belts and did their best Walker, Texas Rangers. All proceeds benefited two charities, Kickstart Kids and the Mercy Project. Norris posed for a pre-race photo, which may have set a world record for the most people in one place dressed like Chuck Norris.
That's great.
I'm sure there is a category.
You know, he came to visit my middle school when I lived in Texas. Yes, he did this Kickstart Academy. It was like Taekwondo and karate, and he came to visit one day.
Good guy.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of middle school, if you've ever had a favorite teacher, now's the time to give them a shout out. I have too many favorite teachers to truly name them all. But today is National Teacher Appreciation Day. If the gift of an apple won't quite cut it, how about taking your favorite teacher out for a burrito? Chipotle is offering buy one, get one free deals on orders today. Teachers will need to present a valid ID to prove that they are an educator. Well, last night, one of the biggest fashion events did take place. The Met Gala kicked off with plenty of theatrics.
From Lady Gaga's 4 outfit changes to Katy Perry's look as a human chandelier to Janelle Monáe's Picasso-esque ensemble.
Ooh, I like that one.
The theme campy designs caused some confusion. Nobody was quite sure how to define the term.
So difficult you can describe its characteristics like irony, theatricality, pastiche, humor, extravagance, generosity, but it's hard to just have like a one-line definition of what camp is.
Some other highlights included a real-life Cinderella, a crown made of 10,000 crystals, and Cardi B needing the help of 7 people just to get up the stairs. The Metropolitan Museum of Art's latest exhibit of campy designs throughout the ages is open to the public, by the way, until September 8th.
Those are spectacular.
I know, they really
I would
are.
have loved to be there for that.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great people watching opportunity.
Oh, big time.
I didn't even know some of the words that guy was using to describe it. All right, we can describe the weather in one word.
Yeah, wet, and that's a word that people will understand. I'm going to throw some other technical terms out when it comes to this full forecast, but we also do have a little threat of severe weather coming up, and it's time to go to weather school right after the break. Well, we do have a new alert day in the forecast. That is going to be for Wednesday as we await the arrival of not just heavy rain, but a lot of gusty winds and perhaps the threat of a severe thunderstorm or two. Let's jump on into the forecast with where things are right now, though. These are our temperatures outside, 57 in Madison. Check out temperatures across the west. That is where more 60s begin to show up. 60 in Lone Rock, Boscobel at 63, La Crosse at 64 right now. But those winds all day have kind of been out of the east, and that cold lake breeze has kept the lakeshore a little bit colder. Milwaukee at 43 right now. Sheboygan and Manitowoc both at 48. Here's the deal. We have seen the cloud cover around today as well. We've seen a few peaks of sun, but that cloud cover is going to be increasing once again, especially as we go into the overnight hours. I'll show you that in just a moment, but that cloud cover has really kept those temperatures below normal for another day in a row. Typically, our highs are right around 66 at this point. Here's a live look from the station. You see some of that blue sky, but you also do see that cloud cover on the horizon. Here's the way things have actually been playing out for us. We've dried out across parts of central Wisconsin today. That cloud cover staying in play across the southern half of the state. But as I zoom things out, you see more and more of that cloud cover across parts of Iowa. That is what's going to be moving into town as we go through the next couple of hours. High pressure is why we do have more sunshine across the southern half of the state. But folks, it's this region of low pressure that you see across parts of Kansas that is going to be changing things up on our weather pattern, riding along this stalled out front that we do have in place. In fact, that same system is bringing tornadic weather across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas as we speak. Moving into tomorrow, that severe weather threat does shift a little bit towards the east. But notice we have that marginal risk right here from about Madison and points to the south. This is the northern extent of where I do think the severe ingredients will begin to line up. Speaking of the severe ingredients, let's go ahead and check out what we're looking for. There are 4 things. You need instability, you need moisture, and you need wind shear for severe weather. And then lastly, you need a trigger to activate that. That's called lift. Let's go ahead and look at the ingredients. For one, the instability across the south is on fire right now. Explosive thunderstorm energy across parts of Texas. As we move forward into Wednesday, watch how this actually begins to show up across parts of the Midwest that moves northward towards Wisconsin. I think the greatest instability is going to be just south of the state line. The next thing we want to look for as we head into Wednesday and Thursday is the moisture. I do think we're going to have that. That moisture begins to filter in all the way from the Gulf of Mexico, again, high across Texas. Watch how that begins to fill in, not just Wednesday, but Wednesday night and into Thursday. And then we have our wind shear. This is the changing of wind direction as you go higher in the atmosphere. Surface winds will be coming out of the south, or upper level winds coming out of the south. Meanwhile, surface winds will come out of the north and west. So that puts a little bit of spin. Now you just need a trigger, and we are going to have that. That is going to be a warm front lifting northward, sending rounds of showers and thunderstorms around pretty much all day on Wednesday. Temperatures don't get out of the 40s, but watch this. This is 8 o'clock Wednesday. We're at 48 degrees. Here comes that warm front. Temperatures begin to warm overnight into your Thursday. This is 3 a.m. We've gone from 48 to 56. That warm front lifts northward. Here comes that cold front into Thursday, and then we're going to keep the cloud cover around, but we could see a lot of rain with this, folks. We're talking upwards of 2 inches of rain. That's why this is an alert day. We could really see some high water issues with that one. But the good news, because there's always good news to the forecast. I don't care what that forecast is. There's a silver lining somewhere in there. But the good news, and I do think a lot of folks are going to love this one, check out the extended period of sunshine and warm temperatures. We've needed this, and we finally have it.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you take notes? All the weather terms?
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to quiz you all later.
Thank you, Professor. No, it's very interesting.
Final
You always
exam
learn
season.
something in your forecast.
Yeah, I think weather is something that a lot of people are interested in, so if you can teach something about it, I think folks, it's a weather-savvy town anyway, so I think it's nice to get to understand
There's a reason why things happen.
Yes, there is.
All right. There will be a quiz, folks. Thank you, Chris. You heard the call for BU ambassadors, and now we want to introduce you to the dozens of people who committed to that message.
Danica Lewis is welcoming them to the BU ambassador team this afternoon. Hi, Danica. We are very grateful for their help.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had quite a few people shuffle in here, Susan, and actually Chris Reese needs to make his way in and get his kit a little later, so pass along that message. But I got to tell you guys, we had applications from everyone from Girl Scout troop leaders, coaches, a professional clown, a unicyclist club leader. I mean, you name it. They are committed to sharing that message. And one of those very awesome people is Maria Carveo. She is a special education teacher over at Savannah Oaks Middle School in Verona. Thank you again for being with us today.
Thanks for having me here.
Of course. So if you don't remember, we actually got to feature Maria earlier this year and all the awesome work she's doing over at Savannah Oaks. Can you remind folks just what this message, what this statement BU really means for you and your kids?
Well, I find it's very important for kids to feel the power of being themselves and not be bothered by the pressures that they have around themselves. There are too many pressures social media, the peers and adult pressures, and they just need to be proud of who they are every day.
And you're also a Special Olympics coach for a while now. What does that kind of bring to the table in kind of spreading this, be confident in who you are kind of deal?
Yes, the exercising and the working out and the athleticism that they practice every day just give them the confidence even more of just being proud of who they are. And right now we are practicing swimming, and we go to state June 8th.
Well, good luck. Good luck. That's very exciting. We want to introduce you to one other ambassador coming up here, and this is Leisha Terry. You might recognize her as well. Charlotte Deleste spent some time with Leisha, and this here is Big T. Big T, there he is. That's right there. Oh, he's very interested in the camera. Can you explain, Leisha, for folks who don't know, what you guys do together?
Yes, we are a children's literacy program that we serve everybody in Dane County, but we really focus on the Black and brown kids of our community. And Big T goes around to schools and
with his tongue.
With his tongue out. He has no teeth. And we bring a library of books that all feature characters of color, and kids can read, kids can play with the dog. We really focus on literacy, but you know what? Sometimes they just don't want to read, and it's okay. Again, be you. We don't, if they struggle with a word or two, that's the joy of the dog. The dog is not going to judge them. So that's why we bring the dogs for the kids to read to.
And not judging is what this is all about, right?
Exactly. And that's our huge message is, it's okay. We got you.
I love it. Thank you guys both for being here. We appreciate, thank you, Big T, very, very much. We appreciate, oh yeah, see? He's got words to share. We might share them later, definitely, but we will introduce you to at least one more of our awesome ambassadors coming up here in the next hour. And please, 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 if you have a BU story, share it with us. We would love to hear it. Use that hashtag BU and share it with us on social media or email, whatever works for you. I'll send it back to you guys.
Such inspiration. It's
It
spectacular.
really is. Big T, that tongue is killing me.
Danica,
So
thank you.
cute. Thanks, Danica.
We're sending Chris up there right now, so look for him.
Good. Good.
All right, still to come at 4, we've been told the sun will shine again one day.
And when that day comes, you're going to want to lather on the sunscreen. Consumer Reports has some buying tips for us when Live at 4 continues.
Well, it's no secret that sunscreen helps prevent skin cancer and other skin damage. But with so many sunscreens on the market, how do you know which one is right for you and your family?
Consumer Reports rated a whopping 82 lotions, sprays, sticks, and lip balms, and they cut through all the jargon on the labels to help us find the best sunscreen. Here's Leah Linscheid.
Dermatologists always say that the best sunscreen is the one you'll actually use. But as Consumer Reports tests show, some are much better at protecting your skin than others. As part of Consumer Reports testing, sunscreen is applied to subjects' backs, and then they are soaked in a tub for 40 or 80 minutes, depending on the product's water resistance claim. The area is then exposed to simulated sunlight. The next day, trained experts examine the area for redness. Two of CR's top Best Buy sunscreens are Equate Walmart Ultra Protection Lotion SPF 50 and Trader Joe's SPF 50+. Recently, the FDA asked sunscreen manufacturers to provide additional safety information on 12 common sunscreen chemical active ingredients, including oxybenzone, which is potentially the most concerning.
Some evidence in animal studies shows that it may interfere with the function of hormones such as estrogen. However, more research is needed before we know what the effects are in people.
Still, the American Academy of Pediatrics says that parents may want to consider using an oxybenzone-free sunscreen on their children. If you're looking for a sunscreen containing no chemicals, you may be thinking of trying a mineral or natural sunscreen, but shop carefully.
In our sunscreen tests in recent years, we haven't found a mineral sunscreen that provides both top-notch protection and meets its labeled SPF.
Although California Kids Sensitive Lotion SPF 30+ and Badger Active Natural Mineral Cream SPF 30 Unscented were not at the top of CR's ratings, they were the highest scoring mineral sunscreens and will provide some protection. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Linscheid.
Consumer Reports also had its trained sensory panelists evaluate sunscreens for scent and feel.
The sensory testing isn't factored into the overall score, but the panelist's description of the scent and feel of every sunscreen can be found next to CR's rating to help you pick the best sunscreen for you.
We just want a chance to have to use it,
yes,
right? That would be nice.
That would be nice.
When we come back, we're hitting the road with Harvey Briggs.
We'll find out what he thinks of the brand new 2020 Kia Telluride, a full-size 3-row SUV, as we go behind the wheel. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Well, it's Tuesday afternoon. Let's go ahead and get folks home with showing you how traffic is shaping up. Plenty of slowdowns right now on the Beltline, especially as you work your way eastbound. This is the Beltline at Park Street right now. And unfortunately, Park Street is a pretty good name because that's what the cars are doing on the Beltline right now, just parked around this area. These slowdowns right now are greatest, of course, between Verona Road and John Nolan. Once you get around Park Street, though, you're seeing those slowdowns in both directions. Speeds are pretty slow as well. Some folks are only moving at about 12 miles per hour. Elsewhere, it's about 15 miles per hour. And again, this is the average speed. You just saw the traffic camera where those cars were slowly crawling along. We jump our way down Verona Road towards County Highway PD and McKee Road. We are seeing some backups once you come north on 151 towards that PD intersection. This is going to be a mess for a while as they continue with that construction there. But of course, we're going to keep you guys up to date on that. In the meantime, if you are between Verona Road and John Nolan, plan on that taking you at least 15 minutes. Guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, if you're going to be stuck in traffic, you might as well be stuck in this. Harvey Briggs is here. Yeah. Welcome. We're behind the wheel. The 2020 Kia Telluride.
Telluride, yes. The big SUV named after one of the coolest places in America to go visit. And they actually launched this vehicle there a couple of months ago.
It takes a lot of nerve to name a car after such a pretty place.
Exactly. And they really have done a nice job, though, with building a vehicle that kind of lives up to that name.
It's got a very distinctive front end.
It does. You were saying it looks a little Range Rover-ish.
Yeah, very much upscale look, very rugged look. That's what they were going for with this crossover SUV. It comes in front-wheel drive, but this one is all-wheel drive, and it has an automatic all-wheel drive system, so you can leave it that way, and as you drive down the road, it'll click in when you need it, or you can hit a button and permanently go into four-wheel drive.
It's a big vehicle.
It is a big vehicle.
Yeah,
it's comparable to what in its class?
Like a Toyota Highlander, the VW Atlas, Honda Pilot is another one that would compare with this.
Let's take a look inside.
Yeah, let's look inside.
Yeah. One of the things they've really done with this generation of Kia, and this car specifically, is major upgrades to the interior. Now, this is top of the line, so we have Napa leather, perforated, hand-stitched. You have heated and ventilated seats in the first and second row. So most people have heated seats in the second row. This one ventilated too. So when you're in the back, you get the cooling effect.
But again, this is top of the line.
Top of the line. So it starts.
Oh, look at this, Susan.
There you
well,
go.
that's nice.
Yeah, you can, for your celebrity staff.
Oh, yeah.
Want people looking in and seeing who's in the back.
All right, Mark, I'll drive you around.
Okay.
There you
USBs back here.
USBs for every seat, which makes me happy. You've got little things here to hang like a grocery bag so it won't roll all over the floor. If you stick it back there, lots of thoughtful touches. You've got your controls for your HVAC for the second row passenger. And you also have really nice ventilation here to keep things cool throughout.
And that's an important thing with a car this size. It's hard to keep everybody comfortable.
Right, and they've done a nice job of really thinking through everything in this vehicle.
It's 3 rows. It's time for the Harvey test.
Yes, all right, let's see whether we can make it happen.
6'3" Harvey get in the 3rd row?
Well, he can get in here. Will it be
Harvey is
comfortable?
really tall, so it's always a good test.
So here we go, and we'll pull that back a bit, and you know what? There's a little bit of leg room back here.
You got headroom?
I've got headroom, leg room. It's actually the leg room in this is one of the top in the category. And so, if you have teenagers, you can get 4 teenagers in the back.
It's very clever. They put that indentation here to make more headroom.
Yes.
Why they think they're smart people, aren't they?
Check the trunk. And how expensive is this car, Harvey?
This car starts for the front-wheel drive version at about $31,000. This one, as we have it all loaded up, is $46,000, which is a lot of money, but you start comparing it to some of the others in the category, and for the amount of features you get, and some things in this car you can't get on others, like it has highway driving assist, where it will read the traffic signs, the speed limit, and adjust the speed of the vehicle to the speed limit if you wanted to.
So at top of the line, Honda's going to be more than this?
Honda's a couple thousand more. Your VW Atlas is pretty comparable. A lot of different variabilities in there. The Chevy Traverse will be even more than this.
So they start all about the same price.
Right.
But top of the line, this is a bargain.
Yeah, you're getting a decent value out of this.
But they're hard to find right now, aren't
yeah,
they?
right now they're selling pretty quickly, and so you may have to put an order in and wait a little while to get one.
You were checking on that today, Mark,
Yeah,
didn't you?
there's 4 in town.
Huh.
They call these hockey sticks.
Yes,
The lights.
Yeah, the angled light there. It's all LED lighting all around, so you've got really good visibility. This also has not just a backup camera, but it has the surround camera on it as well, which is a really nice feature.
But again, loaded up.
Loaded up, and I drove this car this past week. I had to go to Michigan and back, so I did about 1,000 miles round trip in this, and I was really impressed. The only thing kind of negative, a little bit of road noise coming up from the tires, but otherwise very comfortable and surprisingly good mileage. I average almost 27 miles per gallon.
So it's a winner.
Yeah,
All right.
This is
It's a
right
great
up
looking
there.
car.
Kia Telluride. Harvey, thank you.
Thank you,
I'll
guys.
see you next time.
Thanks, Harvey. Good to see you.
We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast. We got to get Chris Reese out of the front seat there.
I know, he
We'll
loves
be right
it.
back. Nice out there.
Yeah, it felt great outside.
Yeah, it did.
Plus, the car had me, you loved it. In a trance there. But we're going to watch those temperatures fall down to about 40 overnight. Some showers will be developing. And then into your Wednesday, expect it to be a rainy day. We'll see those highs right around 45. Some strong to severe storms are possible as well.
Great day tomorrow. Okay, thank you, Chris. We'll be right back.